others can also benefit. So in today's pre-scene, I hope so you all have seen the pre-scene once, at least once, and you know that in this pre-scene, which industry are we given? Shoe industry, and this is a very unique industry. Although I must say it's a commercial industry. So again, a commercial industry, irrespective that if it is a football industry, it's a shoe industry, or it's any other manufacturing industry, irrespective of the size of the company, irrespective of the profitability of the company, a commercial industry is a commercial industry, and it is going to be different than the non-profit industry. Historically, there is a trend that every time the company, the ACCA examining team, whenever they are uploading, majority of time, the questions or the industry that they give is a commercial industry. So a commercial industry is comparatively easier to predict. A commercial industry is comparatively easier to predict in terms of models. Plus, in this specific pre-scene, we have been given with lots and lots of information in regard to the financial, and plus we are also being given with some non-financial area. So remember, whenever I say the word financial and non-financial, you should come into your mind or time frame that there might be a question that relates to the financial and non-financial aspects. Why? Because they have already given some sort of information in the pre-scene in forms of financial and non-financial. Today, we are just going to have a general understanding of how the pre-scene basically is being given to us. We are just going to drill it down. This is not a detailed analysis, but a very good analysis in order to cope up with the initial part of the pre-scene that we are being uploaded. This pre-scene is going to be a pre-scene in which we will be dealing with some of the models. We'll be predicting some of the models. We will try to identify some of the areas that may be tested in your real examination. This pre-scene is uploaded today. Today, we are being uploaded with two different things. The first thing is the pre-scene for the actual mock exam, for the actual exam of ACCA. And the second thing is that the previous mock exam pre-scene that was uploaded 15 days before, now they have also uploaded the exhibits and the requirement of that mock exam. So you're not going to solve that mock exam right now. We are going to make a detailed mock exam in this pre-scene as well, and we will also be solving the previous pre-scene that is already being uploaded in the name of mock exam for the company. So we will go through that pre-scene and the mock exam as well. We will go through the real pre-scene of your examination that you are being given right now. I have already shared the handouts with you. I'm sharing the pre-scene PDF in front of you so that you can start. Remember one thing. This is just a pre-scene, and it is recommended by ACCA to not to do any sort of prediction in terms of exhibits, in terms of models. However, we are going to create a mock exam in terms of exhibits, preparing of the exhibits and preparing of the question analysis. I'm trying to do this. I will do it, but you need to give me some patience, and then only we can, move forward with the pre-scene thing. One more thing. I have already shared on your group a podcast with the last position holder, Saad. So I hope so you have gone through that podcast. I've asked him 2-3 questions which are very important in terms of how many past papers was he doing. And the first question that I asked him, that what was that one specific thing that you think basically helped you in getting this position? So his answer was a very obvious one, and that is the pre-scene analysis and the pre-scene mock. According to him, he said that 30% of the examination was from the mock exam that we conducted. I'm not claiming that it is going to be 30% this time as well. Maybe it might, my predictions might be 30% or more than that or less than that as well. So you may have a single question out of the mock. You may have no question out of the mock, or you may have 3 to 4 parts out of the mock. So the pre-scene is just a way to familiarize the industry and to familiarize with the company. So now we are going to drill down into the pre-scene. We will have an initial insight as to how and what information the pre-scene have already given us. Moving forward. So firstly, we have the introduction. As we have seen, this introduction to be given in every single precinct that is being uploaded. Then remember, we have been given with the shoe manufacturing industry. Shoe manufacturing industry in Lukeland, that is the economy in which the industry is operating. We have the overview, we have the production, we have the market structure, we have the sales channels. Then we have the challenges with this industry, innovation and development, industry body and industry standards and legislation. So there are certain industry bodies, there are certain industry standards, there are certain industry legislation as well, or regulations as well, that are applicable. Then our company name is Shu Limited. We have been given with the background, ownership, key stakeholders, board and organizational structure, products that we are offering. Now, whenever I say that they are offering some products, I'm assuming that they may give you the industry. There might be there might be an example. For example, the industry is selling 5 products. However, your company is selling 3 products. So whenever this is a situation, they normally ask you to increase your product line, and they normally ask you that we are going to increase the product line in terms of investment, or we are going to increase the product line in terms of buying another company that is basically selling those 2 products that we are not selling. So this can be one of the cases. Then manufacturing and sales process, information system and use of technology. Now, whenever I say information system and use of technology, remember that big data or data analytics or e-marketing can be one of the major domains of this question. Again, these are all the predictions. As I'm moving forward with the handout, I'm going to showcase my prediction. Okay, that this can happen and that can happen. So please make sure that you just read it thoroughly. You just be with there. You just be with me so that you can, cope up with the entire information structure. Then it says information system and use of technology, risk. Again, they have given you risk. Now, if they have just given you risk, they may ask you that the given risk, its impact and mitigating factor. What is there in the handout? What is there in the handout? Then we have been given with the website extract as well. There's a website extract that is given to us. Well, you all have it. I've already shared it on the group. This is uploaded by ACCA on your portal, and I guess they have also emailed you. This is uploaded by ACCA to every single person. They have also emailed you, and I'm also forwarding it right now so that you can have an access. Okay. Then financial and non-financial information. Remember, they have already given us financial and non-financial information. Whenever I say financial and non-financial information, I'm getting an assumption that there might be a question relating to financial and non-financial, and there might be a question that relates to the CSR activities as well. There might be a question that relates to the CSR activities as well, because your CSR activity plus SFA model need to be revised once again before going into your examination. Because CSR activity, because you're going to do an investment and it says non-financial, so obviously something will relate to the non-financial. See, it is a shoe manufacturing industry. So if it is a shoe manufacturing industry, there are inevitable chances that this industry might be creating some sort of pollution. And some sort of pollution means that you need to go through the integrated reporting framework once again. There might be some 6 capital analysis given. There may be some 6 capital area being given to you in the real examination. So introduction starts with the Shu Limited. So there is a company with the name of Shu Limited. is a company which manufactures and sells shoes. It was, now remember one thing, we are manufacturers as well. So whenever I say that we are going to go towards manufacturing element, my mind starts asking me question regarding the topic. So the first topic that I guess we can apply is CSR, corporate social responsibility, along with integrated reporting, because manufacturing without pollution is not possible. And the BCG model as well. How come BCG? They may ask you that we are manufacturing 3 different types of shoes or 4 different types of shoes. And they may ask you that, okay, we are manufacturing 4 different types of shoes. Now you need to keep into your mind that which shoe should we actually manufacture and sell and to produce it further, and which shoe should we stop producing, because there might be a shoe which falls into the cash cow category, or there might be a shoe that falls into the dog category. So remember, whenever I say manufacturing and selling shoes, so both these industries are very important, and we are not just manufacturers, but we are also retailers or maybe wholesalers. So it was founded nearly 100 years ago. Do you get an idea why they always give you a pre-scene or a question that basically relates to a company that was actually founded 100 years ago? So that you can have a fair idea that the company is not a company which is developed right now. It's a company which has a heritageal value. So if you are going to fundamentally change anything in the company, you need to take 100 times consideration before changing. Because, a company that is operational for 100 years, they must be operating in a very good stance. Now, if you suggest that, okay, change it drastically or completely change it with a 360-degree impact, this is a decision that you, before recommending, need to take into consideration that the company is 100 years old. And if a company is 100 years old, so they must have produced some sort of promising result during this tenure in which they have been operating. Then, and is currently the 4th largest shoe manufacturer. So we are the 4th largest shoe manufacturer and retailer in the economy of the Lukeland, the developed, politically stable country where it is based. So I'm getting an idea whenever I get to know about the economy in some way or the other. Do you know which model do we think can we apply over here? So very good. The economy is very well developed in terms of political stable country. So this means that the inflation will also be stable. So we can apply. We may be asked. Might be asked by the examiner to apply the external analysis, that is external evaluation, that is PESTEL model. Keep in mind about this model. There may be a question that relates to the PESTEL model. Then, shoe manufacturing and retailing industry. Remember, I'm reading the actual pre-scene in front of you. So I'm going to read it very slowly so that you can cope up with the situation. So it says shoe manufacturing and retailing industry in Lukeland. Overview. Organization in the industry manufacture adult and children shoes. Remember, there is a problem. Adults and children shoes. So they are not right now into the shoe manufacturing of, maybe if they let us know which gender are they manufacturing, or the older people shoes. Yes. Sports shoes. Basically, they have not given us the category of issue, but yes, they are just saying that we are selling the shoes, we are manufacturing the shoes that relates to the adult and children shoes. So let's read it. Let's read it further. In factories or smaller workshops. Okay, so there are 2 main domains where they are basically manufacturing this. The first is, there are 2 main sites where they are actually manufacturing. The first is factories, and the second one is smaller workshops. So I'm assuming if they are using machinery to produce the shoe, there might be a question to go for handcrafted shoes. I don't know if they are going for machinery or not, but there might be a question that says that we are trying, or if they are handcrafted, if they are already working for the handcrafted, they might be going for the modern technology of adopting machinery. I don't know if they are doing it with the handcrafting or doing it with the machine, but let's see. And sell them to the customers in Lukeland via their own retail outlets or online stores. So I'm getting an idea that they are only selling to their own economy and they are not exporting their shoes. So there may be a chance of export, because it says that we are just selling it to the customers of Lukeland via their own retail outlets or online store. Export sales are made to the customers in other country via distributors. So they are not right now targeting the exporters themselves. So there may be a chance that if they want to reduce the distributor margin, if they want to reduce the distributor margin, they might think that we can eliminate the distribution channel in between, and we may go for direct distribution to the other economies via the export zones or export processings. So export sales currently is being done via distributors. So this means that there may be a distributor margin. Plus, we are totally dependent. We are totally dependent upon the distributors. Total dependence is on the distributors. Let's wait for 1 minute azan break, and then we'll start. Okay, so moving forward, shoes were traditionally made from leather, but a variety of cheaper man-made materials have been developed. Remember, it is not saying that these are handmade shoes. It is saying that it is going to be a man-made material shoe. Let me give you an example. For example, in the leather industry, in the textile industry, we use cotton as a natural fiber. But there is another fiber which we basically use it as a raw material, and that is known as the viscose and polyester. Now, viscose and polyester are man-made fiber. So this, it says that historically we used to use the leather, which is a natural fiber, and now in order to produce cheaper quality products and cheaper materials are now being used, which is man-made material, have been developed and are now used extensively in shoe manufacturing. These materials include synthetic leather, which is made from fabric based covered in plastic. So now they have gone for synthetic leather. Synthetic leather is something which is man-made fiber, and this will be used in order to produce the cheaper quality shoes. And again, these shoes are going to be covered with plastic. So in order to make it cheaper, they have used the man-made raw material. In Lukeland, the revenue from the industry in 20x4 was $3,750 million. Average annual growth since 20x0 has been 1.71%, and forecast average annual growth for the next 5 years expected to be 1.06%. Now, what do you mean by all these percentages? See, it says that in 20x4, the revenue of the industry, they're talking about revenue, not the profit margins. So revenue of the industry is 3.75 million or $3,750 million. And annual average growth since 20x0 is 1.71. This means that historic 5 years is 1.71 and expected next 5 years is 1.06. So the annual growth have declined. Now, if the annual growth declines, this means that it is going to give rise to some of the challenges for this industry. Obviously, if the annual growth is declining, this is going to create some of the challenges for this industry. The Lukeland market for the manufacture and retail of shoe is dominated by 5 Lukeland organizations. The F Limited, RS Limited, P Limited, B Limited, R Company, and B Limited. So they have told us all top 5 shoe manufacturing companies, right from F Limited and going to B Limited. Now, I'm assuming that it says manufacture and retail market, which means that they are manufacturing plus they are retailing on their own outlets. Let's hope that they have all given us further information regarding this. Now, whenever they give us some company name, my assumption says that there might be a merger or an acquisition question given in this scenario. Because, merger and acquisition is one of the bestest way in order to prove your power. So there may be a situation where they say that D company wants to acquire B company, the 4th and the 5th one, so that cumulatively they can become the 2nd largest company or the 1st largest company. So this can actually happen. Together, they have over 45% of the market. So only 5 manufacturers have 45% of the market. Over 200 small organizations hold the remainder. So you can see 200 organizations own 55% of the market, but 5 companies own 45% of the market, and our number is 4th in the top 5 revenue generating company, assuming that if the 4th and the 5th one are going to amalgamate or they are going to merge or they are going to be acquired by any one company, this may also create a lobby in which your position in the top 5 might change. So production in Lukeland shoe are produced in one of the 2 ways. Okay, either using mass production. So do you know what mass production is? Producing identical goods at a specific period of time, 24/7, 365. See, there are 3 types of productions: mass production, mass customization, and customization. In mass production, we produce many identical goods without the stoppage of the factory, and we produce only one type of good. In mass customization, although they have not stated mass customization, but in mass customization, we produce it by using the mass production technique up to a certain point of time, and then the ending or finishing part is being customized. For example, if I look at the cake industry, the cake industry is not actually working on mass production technique. The cake industry actually works on mass customization technique because the base of the cake remains the same, only the icing on the cake changes. So that is known as mass customization. And then we have customization. Customization means the tailor-made product. So they are, in this scenario, they have given us 2 extremes. Number 1 is mass production technique, in which we are producing, mass production is being done, we are producing many identical goods, but the total number or the quantity of goods will not change because we are doing it with the mass production element. And the second one is handcrafted shoes, which means it is going to be maybe a tailor-made shoe or a shoe which actually the niche market might be able to afford. Why? Because mass production may go for the cheaper quality goods or cheaper pricing, but handcrafted, obviously, it is going to take time to produce, it is going to take efforts to produce, and there may be the quality must be the best of the best. So this may go for the niche market or niche selling techniques. So mass production. What actually is mass production? Mass produced shoes involve the use of machine. Okay. So mass produced shoes involves the use of machine. So whenever I say machine, I get an idea that they may ask for innovation in research or research and development or changes of the machinery or the obsolescence of the machine. And at almost all stages of production process. So every stage of production process is being done with the help of machine. Remember one thing, the production process stages is being used with the help of machinery, and all the stages is being done. So there may be a chance of the project models that we have already gone through, and that may be in the form of that you want to change the process, you want to change the project. And if you want to change the process, is it a drastic change, or you are keeping the process within your company, or you want to outsource the process? So there may be an exhibit given in regard with any of your production process, and he may ask you that, do you want to change this production process, or should we change the production process in terms of outsourcing it? Should we change the production process in terms of bringing this process to a third party agent, or making a specific more automated machinery involved in doing this particular process? So we can have, or we can expect a question like this as well. Although many of these machines need human supervisors or human operations, obviously. So there are four main stages of production of shoes. Okay, remember, they are giving us four main stages, which means four main processes. There might be a question that relates to the project automation, process automation. There might be a question that relates to a model which actually applies in the terms of process changes, realignment, or radical change. Or so you have to go through the process models that we have already done in our classes. There may be a question in relation to the process model and its related areas. So whether they are produced using mass production techniques or handcrafting. So all shoes, irrespective that they are being produced through mass production or irrespective that they are being produced through handcrafting, goes through four different stages. Trust me, they have given us four stages. They may ask you to change the process. Do you know which process models we have already done? Can anyone help me out? Sorry? Live-in change, that is a change model. But what about the process model or the project model? Puppet, yes. And Harman's growth strategy or Harman's process strategy. Yes, Harman's process is the most appropriate model. See, I'm not giving a 100% conclusion that we'll go for Harman's process strategy, but yes, Harman's process strategy is going to be a model that you need to revise once again before going into your examination, and we are going to do it in the detailed precinct analysis. So it says that the shoe manufacturing process, first and the foremost thing that we are going to step one is the cutting of the shoe, part of the top section of the shoe which covers the foot. This is this part of the shoe, right? So this is the first stage. This is the part of the shoe. So if we eliminate this part, okay. Right, so this part of the shoe, this is the first part. The upper are cut from the material. This is the upper part of the shoe, which is cut from the materials. So it relates to the first part of the shoe. Then this is stage number one. Then we have stage number two, stitching. Parts of the upper are sewn together. So we stitch the upper part together. This is the second. Third one is lasting. Don't you think that there might be a question to outsource any part of this, stating that the company is facing loss in this specific process, or we are not very much specialized in this, or they may tell you that the customers' complaint are at the extreme level, and customers are complaining a lot about the maybe the stitching part, and now we are considering ways of improving it. So you may give a suggestion that, okay, rather than improving it, it's better that you can outsource it. So last thing, the finished uppers are moduled on a last, which is a mold in a shape of a shoe being manufactured, and sole, the bottom part of the shoe are added. So now we are going to add it in a mold, and we are going to make the lower part of the shoe, then finishing the shoe, and then we are going to, attach the shoe in the lasting process. Finishing the shoe is quality checked, and then it is packed. So there are 4 stages. Remember, all these 4 stages applies to unanimously to the manufacturing through machinery and manufacturing through the handcrafting. Lukeland-based manufacturers traditionally produce all their output in Lukeland. So this is a company that produces all its output in Lukeland. So this means that the resources that you are going to get will be gathered locally, and again, local resources are a cheap way of producing the good generally. With the advent of mass production, advent means with the advantages of the mass production technique and the development of man-made material over the last 20 years, a number of other countries have expanded their shoe manufacturing industry to take advantage of the lower production cost which these countries offer. Some Lukeland-based manufacturers of mass-produced shoes have transferred some or all of their production to third-party manufacturers in these countries. So, many of them, what they are doing is that they are transferring some or all of the production to third-party manufacturers, and so they are already going for outsourcing. Now, there might be a situation in which we are not doing the same. They may tell us that we are currently producing every single part right from stage 1 till stage 4 by our own self. So if we are doing this, we might have to give a suggestion to find out alternative ways of producing this specific stage. And if you are able to find out alternative ways of producing this specific stage, you will be in a position to cut the cost drastically, or the process automation. We will totally be dependent upon the other party. Handcrafting. So handcrafting involves the same 4 stages as mass production, but the shoes are produced using skilled labor. So for the handcrafting part, we are going to use the last walk. Finishing? Achha. So it says that the third party, we normally do the production process, or some of the production process, or the entire production process is being transferred to the third party manufacturers in other countries, where we can produce the goods at a lower price. And if we can produce the goods at the lower price, this is going to give an upper edge to the company and the economy. So now what they are doing is, many manufacturers are taking the outsourcing element, or I would rather call it not as outsourcing, I would call it as offshoring. So many of them are using the offshore companies in order to produce their specific processes, or in order to produce the entire production. Up handout. Then handcrafting involves the same 4 stages as mass production, but the shoes are produced using skilled labor. To carry out by hand some or all of the tasks performed by machinery within the mass production environment. For example, the sewing together of the parts of the upper. Handcrafted shoes are usually made from leather, so they do not use the man-made, that is synthetic leather, in order to produce the handcrafted shoes. They are mostly made with leather rather than man-made material, and are admired for their very high quality and craftsmen. So as I told you, that this is going to be a niche market. And the previous shoes, that is cheaper one, is going to be a penetrative market. And penetrative pricing is lower price. However, niche market is going to be price skimming. So do you know what price skimming is? Selling initially the product at a higher price and then charging a lower price. So that is what price skimming. Rather than man-made material and are admired for their high quality and craftsmen. They are more expensive to produce than mass product. Obviously, because the man-made products, the man-made leather, the handcrafted product is going to be expensive because they are not being produced using mass production technique. The time period, the quality of material, each and everything is going to be changed because of both the high quality of the leather and higher proportion of skilled labor used to manufacture. They are therefore sold at a higher price than mass production. So sold at a higher price than mass production. So this means that there are two types of shoe. Now, I don't know which type of shoe are we selling. Right now, they are just giving us the information that relates to the industry and not the company. The production of handcrafted shoes have not been transferred to third-party manufacturer. This means that the handcrafted shoes are only being used in our own economy and we try to produce it by our own self. They are not using the third-party manufacturers. So this means that only third-party manufacturers will be involved when we are going for synthetic leather shoes or the shoes that we are making from the man-made fiber. That is being produced using mass production. So if we are doing it with the help of mass production, any of the four stages or all of the four stages might be outsourced to a third-party offshore vendor, because they are saying that we are moving it not within the country but within but outside the country. So this means that we are talking about offshore companies in other countries outsourced, and they continue to be manufactured in Lukeland. So we are manufacturing them in Lukeland. Let's have a 15 minutes namaz break. And then we are going to resume. Okay, let's resume. So it says okay, so types of shoes. Now we are moving towards the types of shoes. There are currently 4 types of shoes manufactured in the manufactured and sold in the Lukeland. They are set. Sorry. They are set out in table number 1. So we have 4 types of shoes. right? So now the first one is formal shoes. Types of shoes manufactured and sold in Lukeland. So formal shoes is a handcrafted smart shoe for adults made of leather. So you remember one thing, that this formal shoe is a handcrafted shoe and it is made of leather. So this is a shoe which is basically sold to the niche market. Then we have semi-formal shoe. So it says mass produced relatively formal shoes for adult made of a mixture of leather and synthetic material. So this is a semi-formal shoe, and I would say that this is a middle class market shoe because it includes both the formal and the non-formal. But this is a semi-formal, includes leather and synthetic material. Then we have the casual shoes, mass-produced informal shoes for adult, made with synthetic material. So this type of shoe is just a casual shoe, and it is only used for the informal shoes that is made for the adult and is made from the synthetic material. Then we have children shoes, mass produced shoe made either from leather or synthetic material. Now the most important part is that we have 4 different types of shoes. This is the top notch. This is normal shoes. These two are, I would say, mediocre. Right? Because they are being produced using the synthetic fiber or synthetic leather, and it is produced using the it is produced using the synthetic material. And the most important part is that they are used with the perspective of the penetrative pricing, mass production. Yes, they are using leather. Yes, they are using some sort of leather. But for the third one, it is completely synthetic material and it is completely mass produced. Now the market structure. Now we need to know, if we are right now, let's suppose if we are right now selling this one and not this one, or maybe this one and not this one. So then there are chances that in the exam, he may ask you that you would want to increase the product line. How can you increase the product line and how can you incorporate the product line more and more by incorporating more and more shoes? So market structure, information about both the 5 large organization and smaller organization in the industry. Lukeland shoe manufacturer. So first one is Rigo, Flamingo, Diran, Parish, and Better Buy. Then we have the smaller organizations. But okay, so the production method uses mass production. So either they are selling casual, semi-formal, or children. So we are going to see. Then the Flamingo is mass production. Then we are doing handcrafting and mass production. So we are selling handcrafting and mass production shoes. Then Perish is the handcrafted and Better Buy is the mass production. But we are on the 4th point, right? Why is he rating and edit? Okay, on the basis of market share. Yes. Information about both the five large organization and the smaller organization in terms of, okay. So types of shoe manufactured, they manufacture good quality and only casual shoes. So they are basically manufacturing only the casual shoe. They are targeting 18 to 30 years of age. So they are targeting 18 to 30 years. So this means mid ages. Their price point is high and share of Lukeland market is 11.11. Remember, in terms of revenue, the Lukeland market for the manufacture of the retail price shoe is dominated by 5 large organizations. They have over 45% of the revenue. Okay, so I would rather say that these organizations, they have given us the name, but this is not in accordance with the ranking. I was thinking that the name is written in accordance with the ranking, but I don't think so that the name is written in accordance with the ranking. They have just randomly written names over here, and now we can see the ranking given in this chart in terms of the market share of Lukeland market in 20x4. Then mass production by Flamingo, low quality shoe. Again, they are selling casual and children shoes. So I would rather say that they are selling number 1 and 2 products. Adults and children is their target market. Their price point is low and their market share is 10.8%, slightly less than the first one. Then our company, they are selling good quality products. Oh my God, they are selling all 4 types of shoes. Yes. Yes, we can have a amalgamation or a merger or an acquisition strategy. We will see about it in the future. So all 4 types of shoes, we are launching all 4 different types of shoes. Our target market is adult and children. Remember, I thought in the previous part, they have given us the name in accordance with the market share, but that was not in accordance with the market share. The market share is given over here. So we rank at number 3. So our price point is medium and we have hold 9.4% of the market. So they are using all 4 types of shoes. No, we can use price penetration in mass production. Yes. Fourth largest shoe manufacturer and retail in launch. Now he has not given us the 4th largest shoe manufacturer in terms of the total number of shoes. Maybe in terms of total number of shoes, he mean to say that we are the 4th largest, and in terms of market share, that is the revenue. We are at the 3rd point. Let's see. Then we have Perish. That is, they only manufacture the handcrafting. They are very good quality and they produce formal shoes only. We produce all 4 types of shoes, and our manufacturer after us produce only the formal shoes. So they only target, obviously, the formal shoes are only for the adults. The price point is very high, and they accumulate around 8.9% of the market share. Remember the total market share. Can you please add up all these numbers? Is it 45%? Yes. So if it is 45%, so this means that 45% is being accumulated by the, obviously it is for 45%. And you can see the smaller organization accounting for 54.7%. So then we have adults and high price point. Then the other one is the better buy, good quality semi-formal shoes and children shoes. So we have good quality semi-formal shoes, number 1, and we have children shoes. So again, adult to children, medium 5.1. Smaller organization, handcrafting and mass production, all types of shoes, adult and children, various, and 54%. Now, I would say that I don't think so that you might get a question of amalgamating, merging, or acquisition of the first 4-5 companies. I don't think so that they are going to give you a question in regard with this amalgamations. But I would say that they are going to give you one of the exhibits that relate to a smaller organization, showcasing the profitability of the smaller organization and also giving us some NPV in regard with the smaller organization and saying that identify if the company should financially and non-financially merge or acquire the smaller organization. Rather than merger, I would say that they are going to go for an acquisition strategy. They will give us some niche marketing strategy, and if they are going to say that we need to merge or we need to acquire a smaller company, remember one point of concern should be that we will be able to market those customers that we are currently not marketing. We will be able to market those customers that we are currently not marketing and increase in market share. If they have given you a market share of around 5% or 2% or 1%, then you can add up that market share into our market share. You can add up the, remember this table may be used again when you are doing your actual answer. This table may be seen again when you are doing your actual answer. You need to keep one thing in your mind is that all the producers are producing different types of shoes. Only it is our company that is producing all 4 types of shoes. So now having a product diversification, I don't think so that is going to be a successive strategy. A success strategy might be to, buy smaller organization. There may be an exhibit stating that a smaller organization financial statement has been given to you and a smaller organization NPV analysis is given. And he may ask you that the NPV analysis and the financial statement according to the NPV and the financial statement and some form of cultural and non-financial aspects of that smaller organization is given to you in the exhibit. And he may ask you that we would want you to give a merger or an acquisition strategy of the smaller organization, identify if this acquisition is viable or not. Then sales channel. Let's look at the sales channel. It says, okay, sales channel. 85% of the revenue earned by Lukeland, 85% of the revenue earned by Lukeland manufacturers comes from sales made in Lukeland. So 85% of our dominance is in Lukeland, that is local sale, where they sell directly to the customers through their own branded retail outlet and their own online store. Revenue from selling through the retail outlets, offline sales, was $2,260 million, approximately 60% of the total industry. So 40% of the industry is through the online sales. And 85% of the industry is through the local sales. So only 85% of the total revenue earned in Lukeland manufacture comes from this local sale. And out of that local sale, the revenue from selling through the retail store is 60%. So I can accumulate it as 60% retail sales, 40% online sales, 25% online, revenue from the online sales as a proportion of the total sales revenue have been increasing over the last 10 years and currently stands 25%. Yes, 25% online sales. Organization with an online offering do not make online sales outside the Lukeland, delivering to Lukeland's addresses only. Okay, so this retail sales is local. Okay, now I get it. This retail sales, this online sale is also local. This is also local. So this accounts for 85% of the local sales. Then we have 15% of export sales. And this is going to be a direct retail sale. However, this is going to be a direct retail sale. However, this is going to be a distributor-oriented sale. Am I correct? Okay. See, it says 60% of the total industry is coming from the retail sales, that only in Lukeland. This means the retail outlets. 25%, as it says, is coming from the online sales, but the online sellers only sell at the local places in the Lukeland. So what they do is the customer is going to add on an order in their cart and we are going to deliver it locally. So this accounts for 85% of the total sales revenue earned in the Lukeland. Retail to locally. Then remaining 50% remains the distributor-oriented sales. So this means that the distributor-oriented sales is going to include the distributor margin. And this is going to be direct sales because we are selling it directly through our retail stores or we are selling it directly through our online retail outlets or the online e-stores. Remember, I'm getting an idea that the question might ask you to increase the e-marketing so that you can increase the overall e-sales. They may ask you, what are the benefits of e-marketing? They may ask you, what are the benefits of e-marketing? We are going to discuss it in the analysis. They may ask you, what are the benefits of e-marketing? How can you increase the e-marketing? How can you approach different customers? Now, revenue from the online sales as a proportion of total sales revenue has been increasing over the last 10 years and currently stands approximately 25%. Organization with an online offering do not make online sales outside the Lukeland, delivering to the Lukeland addresses only. Historically, the Lukeland industry has had an excellent reputation worldwide for the quality of its product And so many years, a proportion of local manufacturers' shoe have been exported. In the recent years, manufacturers of handcrafted shoes in particular have seen increasing demand from their products from markets where they are rising level of disposable income. So this means all those individuals who have more GDP per capita are going to demand more of the handmade shoes. Now, if you talk about the handmade shoes, their overall demand is increasing. It says 15% of the revenue earned in Lukeland-based shoe manufacturing in 20X4 was from the, and it is very obvious that it was from the exporters, sales via distributor predominantly of handcrafted shoes. So we have been given over here 60% offline sales, that is retail sales, 25% online sales, that is these two sales totally account for the local ones. Local and now there might be a question that you may think of increasing this sale. And the most important parameter should be that if I go for increase of this sale, it means that I will have to reduce my overhead expenditure because online sales is not going to add on any overhead expenditure or will not be adding on any expenditure that relates to the overhead cost. And there may be a question saying that you should operate your online sales by exporting your shoes as well. Rather than delivering it through the distributors, you should identify the channels of export directly from the loop. Challenges within the industry. So competition has historically been on price. Okay. Price, product range, quality, marketing, brand name, and distribution channel. So in terms of product range, we are the best. Why? We are offering all 4 products. I don't know about pricing. I don't know about the quality. I don't know about the marketing. I don't know about the brand name. I don't know about the distribution channel. Speed of market has been, but it says historical, right? Speed of market has become increasingly important over the last 5 years. This is due to the growing number of fashion and price conscious consumers in Lukeland waiting to buy shoe more frequently to keep up with regularly changing fashion trends. So now people are moving towards speedy delivery and they would want to have their shoe delivered as quickly as possible. And they would want to change their shoes frequently in terms of developing fashion industry on daily basis. So now we have consumers who would want to buy low price shoes, but with the modern trendy shoes. And that too after a very short span of time. So our modern trendy shoes that are of low price may be made of synthetic and leather mixture or maybe specially made of synthetic, that is man-made fiber. Maybe this is going to be a growing market. And if this is going to be a growing market, then our and then our production concentration also relate to this market. It says, this is due to the growing number of fashion and price conscious consumers in the Lukeland wanting to buy shoes more frequently to keep up with the regularly changing fashion trends. Flamingo lead the way in this area. It can design, produce, and be ready to sell new version of a type of shoe called a style in the retail outlet or online within just a week. So they have got the best in technology in which they can just produce the new shoes within few weeks. So there might be a question saying that if you would want to acquire this technology, this is going to be an NPV analysis out the outlay and the inflows, expected inflows. You're getting what I'm trying to say? The outlay and the expected inflows. But whenever we are being given with the NPV analysis, make sure that we question the fact that is it an NPV that is dependent upon the realistic discount factor? Sensitivity analysis is being considered or not. So all these points are going to be taken into account. Allowing the company to respond quickly to the changing fashion trend. Household disposable income is the key driver. So this is a CSF, critical success factor. So if the household income is going to increase, this is going to increase the overall demand for the shoe, affecting the quantity, frequency, and quality of the shoe purchase. There are signs that Lukeland economy is slowing down. Oh, there might be a question to bring your shoe manufacturing setup into some other economies, because the Lukeland economy is slowing down and our manufacturing products or our products that we are manufacturing is a product that is totally dependent upon the disposable income of a person. Although the chances of this question is going to be very nominal, but there are, yes, spotted diamond model. Spotted diamond model can be used, pestle analysis may be used, sort analysis, TOES models, all these models are going to be used. Growth was 5.1% 5 years ago, but had fallen to 1.6% 2 years ago and was only 1.1% during 2004. Growth in 20x5 is expected to be 0.8%. So this means that there are very fair chances of the examiner asking you a question that we would want you to change the manufacturing setup from our economy to another economy. So if you are going like this, so there may be a question relating to the suitability, feasibility, and acceptability as well. The SFA model, or the financial and non-financial analysis. In line with the economic slowdown, the proportion of mid-size shoe sold has been fallen, and the proportion of low-price shoes have been increasing. So this means that our concentration is going to change. I don't know why I'm getting a question of BCG analysis, Boston Consultative Group. It seems that the cash cow is now moving towards a dog strategy. And it seems that the cash cow is now moving towards the star strategy. So there may be a chance that the examiner might ask you, which product should the company discontinue? And which product should the company invest more in order to earn more? Forecast industry growth, therefore, drivers predominantly from the sales of the handcrafted shoe to both export markets and Lukeland. So, industry growth is being forecasted and export market is also flourishing. There is increasing awareness that employment protection legislation is poor in the countries in which third-party manufacturers used by some Lukeland shoe companies are based. Whenever you say that there's a less regulation in those economies, there are chances that the examiner might ask you that what if you move into that economy, because low legislation means lower cost. However, if we are being told to identify the benefits and the disadvantages, you're going to say that low legislation means low protocols, low controls, which is not going to be environmentally friendly, or external analysis might not give you fruitful results. So remember, I'm getting an intimation that they may ask you to move towards another economy where the third-party manufacturers are operating, that you can either set up within that economy. And if we are totally dependent upon the local manufacturing, setup, we may ask some of our manufacturing stages to be taken from our economy into another third-party economy where the shoe manufacturers have lower legislation in terms of labor protection laws, which means lower costs may be incorporated. The manufacturing processes used in these economies are having negative effect on the environment, irrespective of they are having negative effect. There may be a question that says, how can CSR be implemented? So you may use the word that if we move towards such an economy, no doubt cost can be a very important decision point, but we also need to see if the supplier whom we are negotiating with, he should also apply all environmental and human protection legislation that are applicable in their economies. So it says, as a result of growing number of customers are unwilling to purchase shoe manufactured in these markets. Despite the impact of these disposable income, they are choosing instead of more expensive shoes of manufacturers such as P, which emphasizes their Lukeland heritage and the quality of their handcrafted shoes. These manufacturers are therefore flourishing in both Lukeland and export market. This is increasing the need of skilled workers in Lukeland, as well as attracting new entrants into the industry. So competition is again increasing because new entrants, small entrants maybe, or there are chances that international players might also enter this market. barriers to entry, barriers to bargaining power of customers, bargaining power of suppliers. So what are five forces might also be used from production through to disposal. Shoe manufacturing and retailing has been a big impact on the environment. Shoe manufacturing and retailing has a very, very big impact on the environment. So shoe manufacturing have a very big impact on the environment. Whenever I say environment, there might be an environmental scan analysis. There might be an analysis saying that what do you understand by the integrated reporting. We would want to tell our shareholders something extra. We would want to give our shareholders an external environmental report or our contribution towards replenishment of the environment. The manufacturing process releases large amount of carbon dioxide. The industry was responsible for 1.4% of the greenhouse gas emission in 20x4. Every year, hundreds of thousands of pairs of shoes are disposed in Lukeland alone, most of which end up in the landfill site. Most material used in the shoe manufacturing takes years to biodegrade. Do you know what is meant by biodegradable? As I've already told you in my examples. A large proportion of the shoe purchase online are returned to the seller if they do not fit. So this means that the return ratio is high. If they are not as described on the website, if they are damaged, or if the customers order more than one pair because they are unsure of the size that they need. This adds to concern around the environmental impact of the industry. The level of return is driven by the fact that there are no universal foot sizing standard. So shoe may not fit. And because many retailers do not charge customers for return postage or shipping if the shoe purchase is not wanted. So this is also going to have an environmental effect. So majority of the customers, what do? Is they buy 3 to 4 shoes online. Once they get an online shoe, if they don't like it, or if the shoe that fits their size, the remaining shoes are returned to the manufacturers. Innovation and development. So how does the innovation and development work? Growing environmental awareness and interest in ethical and sustainably sourced products have led to the development of the ethical shoe by small Lukeland-based manufacturers. Now, there are 90% chance that they may ask you to buy a ethical, small Lukeland-based manufacturer and also adopt the ethical strategies themselves. Do you get why I'm trying to say this? Because, he's giving an intimation to us. So there may be chances that he may give you a financial and a non-financial analysis. In the financial and non-financial analysis of the Lukeland small manufacturing-based industry, he may ask you that, okay, we are going to buy a small manufacturing site where we are just going to have the ethical impact being implemented. And due to the fact that our name is connected to an ethical company, we will be in a position to sell it more to the eco-conscious consumers and customers. Called the kin shoe. Now they have given us the name of the shoe of the small shoe manufacturer. So he may ask you to buy the kin shoe. And the kin shoe financial and non-financial will be given in the exhibit. Now that exhibit is going to relate to this point. So it says an organization which has successfully positioned in ethical and sustainable ethos. Ethos means to do it in the right way. As an alternative to that of the main manufacturer. Its shoes are made from more expensive, eco-friendly, sustainable resources which have been ethically sourced. In contrast to the unsustainable, cheaper man-made material used in much shoe manufacturing industry. Recycling initiatives are being tailored by the number of manufacturers in other countries, but they are yet to be any significant development in this area in Lukeland. So, many of them have started the recycling impact, but it says that the recycling has not prominently entered into the market of Lukeland. There are increasing level of technological changes in the industry. So they may ask you a question in which they are going to have an investment on the technology. For example, 3D printing can be used to produce the prototype, custom-made shoes, or limited edition of style. So they may ask you that we do not have a 3D printer and we just showcase our product on the TV screens. Now, if we are going to have an investment on the 3D printers, it seems that our total sales forecast will increase. So, should we invest in the 3D printing? Should we invest in the 3D printing website or not, or 3D printing machinery or not? Technology enabled intelligent shoes are growing trend. They can measure athletic performance, track fitness, evaluate health matrices, and provide personalized feedback to the wearers of the shoe using Bluetooth. To transmit data to a smartphone, another trend is customizable shoes, particularly athletic shoes, which customers can design and personalize. It's very important. So they are right now, the trendy shoes are the smart shoes that can be connected to your mobile phones or your watches, which basically track your level of activities. It tracks when you are jogging, it tracks your health, it tracks your any other parameters that you can relate to the attending sheet. Then it says virtual virtual and augmented reality, AR. IR and AR. You remember I have already discussed the AR impact. We have already seen the AR. So AR is basically the augmented reality, a reality that shows a 4D image in front of you. So virtual and augmented reality technology is being used on some online sales based in Lukeland to enable the customers to try on shoes to see what they look on them via their smartphone and camera. So this is like augmented reality is like you take a picture of yours, and in that picture, let's suppose if I'm wearing a black dress, so if I want to try if I should go for the brown shoe or a gray shoe or a black shoe, so they are going to give me three different impacts of the shoe. Three different pictures are going to be generated using an AI technology. This is known as augmented reality, in which you actually see yourself wearing that shoe and how do you look. So if they are going to create that shoe for me and they are going to create a picture for me, this is going to give me a pictorial experience of wearing that shoe. So maybe we may go for adoption of this technology if we don't have it right now. Industry body size issue is right now a reality because there is no one size fit all, and every shoe have different size constraints. For example, there's an American size, there's a European size, and there's a UK size as well. So this is one of the biggest issue that the manufacturers are facing. So if we can, legislate it in some way that we make one size for the entire world, I mean, one size means that, okay, only the American size is going to be followed or the UK size is going to be followed, then the first challenge that many people, order more than one shoe and then return the other shoes, that is going to be dealt with. So industry body, industry standards and legislation. Now, this is not the corporate governance in terms of the board of directors. It is the industry legislation. So it is going to be industry-specific legislation. The Lukeland Shoe Association. So there is an association that looks after the Lukeland shoes, aim to promote the industry domestically and globally. Very important point. It provides its member with expertise, support, advice, guidance, and insight on the range of relevant topic through its staff, its publication, the network of members, and it links to the Lukeland government. Accreditations by the Made in Lukeland campaign set up by the LSA to promote. LSA is the Lukeland Shoe Association, to promote the Lukeland manufactured shoe domestically and internationally. So it is like made in Lukeland. This is their, pride. This is their USP. Indicate that manufacturers have compiled with standards regarding the quality and safety of the product, labor standards, and sustainability guidelines. Accredited manufacturers can use the Made in Lukeland mark. So all those manufacturers who are, making the shoe in the Lukeland, they are going to use the mark of Made in Lukeland, and all those individuals who are part of this association, they can use this mark. Shoe manufacturers, like other businesses in Lukeland, must comply with employment, health and safety, consumer protection, competition and data protection. Oh my God, again, data protection law. So if we are increasing the online sales, there is a challenge that we are going to have lots and lots of consumers and customers data. Now, if we do not take into account the consumer and customer data, we may face a challenge of data leakages. There is a strong system of copyright protection in the Lukeland. Manufacturers must carry out a number of legally required health and safety tests on all the shoes to ensure the material used to manufacture and them are non-hazardous. Most staff employed in the industry are members of the National Shoe Union. So there's a labor union as well, right? And you know how labor union can be strong. You know how labor union work. So there might be a model on the people, which includes the puppet model as well. There might be a model on the people as well, which basically relates to how you should treat the human resources, which looks after the interests of the members of the work by, for example, negotiating agreements with the employers on pay and condition. Now let's quickly drill into our shoe industry. What is the basic aim of our shoe industry? D Shoes Limited was founded 100 years ago. We know this by DD. He's the CEO of the company. Over the years, it has built the reputation of reasonably priced. Now, reasonably priced means that your shoes comparatively not entering into a niche market right now, but in order to increase the overall market span, and in order to go for specialized market, you first need to culturally develop your word of mouth that we might enter into the market where our shoe are now being considered to be reasonably priced. Plus, there is another category of shoe that only few individuals can buy or afford, and they are known as the specialized or special, shoes that we can offer. But for that, you have to culturally change the mindset of the people, because our company is being represented as a shoe company that only sells reasonably priced, well-made shoes for adult and children. It was one of the first organization. It was one of the first organization to be awarded the mill mark for the formal type of shoe. What's a mill mark? Made in Lukeland. Very good. Until 15 years ago, all of the Darren's manufacturing was based in a town called in the southwest of Lukeland. At that point, the company decided to transfer most of the manufacturing of the country to Totland. Okay. So 15 years ago, the manufacturing was totally based on in a town of Linnell. And now at that point, the company decided to transfer most of the manufacturing to a country of Totland, retaining one small factory in Linnell to take advantage of significantly lower production. So they've already gone through into the another guy. So now I might get a question saying that we would want to completely transfer into that economy. And there might be a question saying that these are the numbers and figures of that economy. Apply an SFA model. So if you apply an SFA model, you know it well that firstly we in the suitability we try to identify the problem, and transferring our system completely into that economy, will that be a good solution or not? So this is how it is going to work. So I'm getting a very, very fair chance that SFA model might be asked in this question. There might be a question either saying non-financial and financial. There might be a question saying using an appropriate model, identify if the company should financially or non-financially move towards the other economy completely. Yes, definitely. Retaining one small factory in Lane to take advantage of significant lower production costs. X Company Limited, one of the Totland's largest shoe manufacturer, produces shoe for. What if I would want to buy that X company? And they provide me the financial and non-financial information of that X company, along with the non-financial information of the economy. So the best model that I can apply is the SFA model, or the financial and non-financial headings. It says the head office, the small factory, and its warehouse are still in Lane. It is one of the main employer in the area. Shipping from Totland to Dean warehouse in Lukeland is carried out by DT Global Transport. Now, this means we may go for integrations. You know what integration is? We may go for integration, which means we may go for forward integration. That is, we may buy our manufacturer, or we may go for the latent integration, which is we may buy our transporters as well. We may buy our transporter, we may buy our manufacturers, and obviously we may try to be the owner of both these companies. Most of Denim shoes are mass produced by X company. Only its formal shoes are handcrafted in the Lugo. So it's like this: two types of shoes. All of them are being produced by third-party manufacturers, and one shoe that is handcrafted is being produced by me myself in the economy of Lukeland. Its shoes are sold throughout the Lukeland direct to the consumers via 75 branded retail outlets. So there may be a question to increase the branded outlets. There may be a question to increase its website presence in terms of e-marketing, in terms of e-selling or e-retailing. It does not export any of its production. Honestly, they may go for export strategy. They may ask you that till this time we are not going for export strategies. But what if I would want to explore, or what if I give them a suggestion to go for export strategies as well? D, share ownership. Others, 5%. Employment, 10%. Directors, 15%. And founder family. Okay. So this is a family owned business. So family owned business means no proper governance. So if they want to increase their market share, or if they want to be more formalized, they may go for PLC strategy. Although the majority of shares of Dean are owned by the founder family, none of the family are on the board or have any involvement in the management of the company. They just want to have the share, they just want to have the profit, and none are involved in the management of the company. Dean is not listed on the Lukeland Stock Exchange by governance agreement or arrangement are consistent with the good corporate governance. As a non-listed company, the directors made the decision not to have, not to have, and not. Now tell me one thing: which questions do you expect? That they are going to go for PLC, and let me know the benefits and the drawbacks of making these committees. What are the benefits of creating all these committees? What element do you think that if we go for a public listed, if we go for the listing requirement, we may go for making or incorporating these committees? There are 4 committees. You need to know the composition of that committee. You need to identify how these committees are going to give good governance requirement or fulfill good governance requirement. There is an internal audit team which report to the chief executive finance or chief financial officer. So again, key stakeholders. Again, whenever I see the word stakeholders, I get an idea of which model? Menlo matrix model. This is the first time that we can predict it in comparison to the previous historic pre-seed. The prediction over here is more prominently being done as compared to the previous pre-seed. Honestly, I'm telling you, I've been doing this since whenever the pre-seed model was announced. This is the first time we are doing it in a better way. Let's wait for 1 minute to for the azan to end, and then we are going to resume. अजान सबके लिए यार. Okay, let's move forward. So whenever I see the word of 50, 60 marks or say, whenever I see the word of stakeholders, I get an idea that it may go for Menlo matrix model. And if he is telling us about the stakeholders in a prominent manner, he may ask you that the stakeholders already identified. Let us know how to deal with those stakeholders. So key stakeholders are shareholder staff, and remember the shareholders are major shareholders. 70% are just the family members. Head office, factory, warehouse, retail outlets, customers, third party manufacturer, that is X company, distribution partner, that is DT Global Transport Company, suppliers, bank, trade union, Lukeland Sue Association. What if they say a 30 marks question? Identify how to manage these stakeholders. So you need to identify the interest and the power. But for the interest and power, they are going to give you some sort of exhibits for every stakeholder. Now, most importantly, if they are giving you some sort of exhibit for every stakeholder, they are going to ask you to identify for every stakeholder what will be the power and the interest, and also identify what benefit or what prospects can they bring in the success of the company, or how can they help in the success of the company. So Menlo matrix or stakeholders model is a very prominent model over here. Remember, Menlo matrix or stakeholder model is a very prominent model. They may ask you for such a model. Then there are high level of loyalty, commitments, and satisfaction among Dhiren staff. Staff turnover is good. So staff turnover is low, which means we normally retain our staff. It is not uncommon for several generations of the same family to have worked for Dhiren. So this means that generations and generations are working for the company, because it's a very highly regarded company. बिल्कुल ही आप negative. The relationship between D and X is very positive. This means more chances of merger, more chances of acquisition are very positive. But over the last 2 years, there have been growing numbers of issues with the quality of the output from the factories. So this means there might be a chance that we may open our own manufacturing outlet over there. Quality checks carried out by the Lukeland have highlighted poor production qualities and a number of returns from the customers due to faulty shoes produced by X company have been slowly rising. Delays in the dispatch of orders from the X company have also been increasing. Shipping between Totland and the warehouse in the linen is provided by DT, and service levels and excellent. So board organization and structure. The board of D board and the main areas of responsibilities of the directors are as follows. So firstly, we have the executive chairperson. It shouldn't be a non-executive chairperson. We have non-executive directors all operational. So we have 1, 2, 3, but 4. No, we have 1, 2, 3 and 4. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And the CEO is there. Yes, 8. So we have chairperson. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 non-executive, and EDs at 4 to be the non-executive. So the executive chairperson, leadership of the board, good governance, specific strategic initiatives. There will be a question saying that we are going public listed. We are listing on the stock exchange. Let us know what the good governance requirements have to tell us all about. Chief executive, the executive team implementing the decisions of the board, operational side, effective implementation of the strategy. Chief financial officer, financial strategy, internal and external financial reporting, risk management. There might be a question, what additional responsibilities can you add on in the executive directors? There might be a question, what responsibilities do you think are not fit for the role of the executive directors that they are currently doing? Chief operation officers, factory and warehouse in the Lukeland, relationship with the outsourced partners. Chief commercial officers, retail outlets, e-commerce sales, business development. Chief product officer, research and development, product design, marketing. Chief information officer, head office system and website, e-commerce platform, website and e-commerce platform and process, communication link with the outsourced partners. So I don't think so that there is any role ambiguity or there is any role that they should not be performing. I guess all roles are relevant to the person, but the only thing that I feel like is that what additional roles can any 4 of them perform? बहुत सारे लोग हैं ना, तो ऐसा I don't think so कि ऐसा बस वाला. Then HR function covering head office, factory, warehouse, and retail outlet staff recruitment, retention, training, and development. Most of the directors have worked for D for over 20 years, which is again corporate governance. So corporate governance is a short question. Corporate governance, I'm going to add these questions in the mock exam. Don't worry. But I guess corporate governance is a short question. And relationship between them is positive. They take a risk-averse approach of decision making. D has a functional top-down hierarchical structure with clear chain of command. Okay, so they have a very clear chain of command. I'm getting a prospect that they are now involving us in a corporate governance short question, maybe in the form of that we are listing. They may also ask you a 30 or 32 marks question, how the listing requirements need to be how the listing requirement need to be applied, along with what 4 committees or what types of committees do we need to prepare, and what should be their composition. Types of? No. Processes are well defined, and the focus within the company is ensuring on day-to-day operations running effectively and efficiently. The organization is divided into departments. Departments such as finance, purchasing, business development, human resource, IT, research, development, customer services are the dean's head office. The warehouse, factories, and retail outlet from 3 further departments. The manager of each department comprises the senior management team and report to the members of the board. Product. Dean sells 4 types of formal, semi-formal, children's shoes have been manufactured for many years, and casual shoes have been manufactured for 10 years. All are just made in Totland by X company, exceptional of the formal shoes, which are produced in the Dean's own factory in Lukeland. Details are given below. Okay, so there may be a question on the BCG or product ends of growth matrix model or a BCG model. They may ask you that we would want to identify which product falls in which category. Dean produces 20 different styles of each type of shoe. These styles are reviewed on an annual basis and updated for any changes in the fashion. such a color or height of heel, those which are performing poorly are no longer. So if there are any shoe that are further deteriorated in its performance, they will no longer be manufactured. So they may go for discontinuation strategy. They may go for discontinuation strategy, and discontinuation strategy means the dog strategy. When a style is removed, a new style replaces it. Lean is usual in the industry as it uses both handcrafting and lean is unusual in this industry as it produces both handcrafting and mass production and offers all four types of shoes. So the customer concentration of Dean is at every facet of manufacturing. Formal. Dean market those shoes which have the MIL mark, because these are the only shoes that they have MIL mark with, as handcrafted shoes, as skilled labor replaces some of the processes which are carried out by a machine. In mass production, manufacturing environment, they are made of leather and are most expensive shoes sold by Dean. The target market is 30 to 50 years old. P is the market leader for the shoe type. It charges a high price than Dean. So we have we have a price advantage, but on the other hand, the quality disadvantages. Semi-formal. So all these shoes are going to be manufactured by X company. These shoes are cheaper than D formal shoes as the soles are made of rubber rather than leather. The target market is over 55 years old. D is the market leader, okay, for this type of shoes, and has a market share that is just slightly above the B. So our nearby competitor is just reaching near us. So there are chances that he may supersede us or overtake us. The other leading manufacturers of similar semi-formal shoes. Then casual shoes. The sole of these shoes are made of rubber and the uppers of man-made material so that they are cheaper than Dean's semi-formal shoes. The target market is 18 to 30 years old. A demographic Dean is struggling to engage with. Rego is the market leader for this type of shoe and commands a strong brand loyalty among the target demographic. Children. These are mass-produced leather shoes for children. D is the market leader for the age. So we are the market leader of the casual shoes as well, right? Semi-formal. So we are the market leader of semi-formal, and we are the market leader of children for this age, and has an excellent reputation in the retail outlet for correctly measuring the fitting children shoes. The closest competitor is a small manufacturer called Tiptoe. So we may be told that we would want to buy Tiptoe. We may be told that we would want to buy X company. We may be told that we would want to buy the distributor, or we may be told that we are moving towards another economy in terms of manufacturing. Manufacturing and sales process. This is just a mini analysis that we are doing. A grand analysis will be done after 2 to 3 days. So don't worry, we will do a grand analysis as well, in which we will have 20 to 25 pages of the analysis covering the entire topical area with this topic, with this, brief. So wait for the grand analysis. This is just a mini analysis in which we are just trying to predict. So manufacturing and sales processes. 15 years ago, D closed all of its manufacturing facilities in Lukeland except for one factory. It can now, there may be a question that we would want to close the last factory as well. But remember, if they are going to close the last factory, the MIL will be lost. This is going to be one of the biggest disadvantages that the Dean may face. It continues to manufacture its formal shoes in this factory and carries out its research and development in Lukeland too. Most of the Dean's output is sold through its 75 retail outlets, which are in towns and cities throughout the Lukeland. D has an excellent reputation for high level of customer services within the retail outlet, and this is one of the main reasons for the organization's success. The company has no retail outlet outside the Lukeland and does not export. All of the products are also available via its online offering, which is available to the customers in Lukeland only. We may be asked a question that we would want to go on for foreign footprints. So how can we increase our foreign presence by increasing the online e-retail sales, and maybe by reducing the distributors? Customers must collect any product purchased from online from their local Dean's retail outlet, as Dean do not offer home. So we may be asked that we would want to increase our sales by introducing the home delivery facility for the customers, which is unusual in Lukeland, which is unusual in Lukeland. So competitors are doing this delivery thing or service. This has restricted online sales volume. Currently, 12% in dollars of Dean total sales are online sales. The stages which Dean's shoes go through from design to being sold to retail outlets are illustrated in the diagram below. So this is how the manufacturing works. So first we have the research and designing part. Then we have, so all shoe types. So if it says like a blank box, it means that all shoe types are being done in this manner. So research and designing creates lasts and produce prototypes. Then laboratory testing, for example, durability and safety. Then the formal shoes go on in this way, and all type of except the formal that is being produced by the X company. So I would say the three types of shoes and one type of shoe. Am I correct? So manufacturing process. Some stages are carried out by skilled labor, handcrafting, quality check is done, transfer to Lukeland's website. Then if I talk about the manufacturing processes of the other three type of machine used for all these stages: mass production, ship to launch a warehouse by the DT, that is the distributor, and then quality check is done. Then all type of shoes are going to further process in this way. Pick, select item for retail outlets, order and customers online orders and pack them and dispatch to retail outlets, distribute to retail outlets, sell to retail customers, enable collection of online orders. So this is how it works. So we produce them, and then we pick up, select them for retail outlets. So these are the retail outlet shoes. We are sending them to retail outlets. These are the online order shoes. We are sending them to the retail outlets, so that the consumer will either have to buy it from the retail outlet, or even if they buy it from the online stores, they will have to go towards the retail outlet in order to get the delivery. Which is, I think, not a very good strategy to incorporate the online e-sales. The stages of manufacturing process are set out in section number 2 in this document: information system and use of technology. Head office has off-the-shelf finance and human resource system, which has been in place for a number of years. What do you mean by off-the-shelf? What is bespoke? Off-the-shelf finance means that the human resource system is fit for the purpose of current operation. Off-the-shelf finance means a tailor-made finance software, bespoke. A tailor-made finance software and human resource software. The human resource system is fit for the purpose of current operation, but the board is aware that the investment will be needed soon in a finance system. A new inventory system was recently introduced by it, but it does not provide the transparency D needs over its supply chain. It shows visibility of inventory retail outlet updated daily, but is only updated on weekly basis for the rest of the supply chain. So there may be a question that we would want to buy another software. We are going for an investment in the just like CDMS. You remember that software? Customer Database Management System. It may be an inventory database management system, IDMS. And same questions may be asked over. Dean has made significant investment in advanced manufacturing technology in its Lukeland's factory for those parts of the production process not carried out by skilled labor. It has also invested in an automated picking process in its warehouse, which selects inventory for its retail outlets. A manual picking process is used for online orders. There's an e-commerce platform which has relatively limited functionalities. There may be a question that we would want to increase the e-commerce sale. So in order to automated picking process and see, automated picking process means that there's a machinery that is going to pick up all the shoes and it is going to bring it to the retail outlets. But for the online one, I will have to I will have to send a human resource where they are going to bring all the shoes that are being online ordered towards the retail outlet. This is the only difference. Secondly, there is an e-commerce platform which has relatively limited functionality. This has impacted Dean's ability to engage. So there may be a question that we would want to go on for an increment in the e-commerce sales or the online sales. And if you would want to increase the e-commerce and online sales, how can we do this? What are going to be our digital marketing strategy? What are going to be our e-commerce incremental strategies so that we can engage in more and more e-commerce? So the only strategy that you need to adopt it over here is that you need to increase the e-commerce sales. Definitely, we are going to go for e-marketing strategies, e-commerce strategies, and implementation strategies. There is also an intranet. What is the difference between internet and intranet? Intranet is where only the employees are going to communicate, includes information and resources for the staff, and an area of the staff comment. Area of the staff comment. So there may be some negative comment given to us in the exhibits. There may be some negative comments given in the exhibits, and they may ask you that how to deal with those negative comments. Don't say that give them hardship bonus in order to provide good reviews about our shoes, about the PSS. You remember that? Risk. The following risks are currently on Dean's risk register. Okay, so they have just given us the risk. They may give you control failures in the exhibit, and they may ask you to the identified risk in the pre-scene, what is going to be their impact and what is going to be. See, they have not given us much information about the risk. Only they have given us what are the risks. So there's a risk of supply chain disruptions because we are dependent upon X Limited. A potential economic downturn in the Lukeland because we are selling it to the consumers who should have good amount of income. Dean's limited online offering because we are not offering them deliveries, because we are not offering them online the online deliveries. So this means that the mitigating impact can be these are the mitigating impact that I'm saying. Product recalls. This means that there is no one size that fit for the entire customer community. So we may need to offer some some amount of cost, or we may order some amount of cost. We may incorporate some amount of cost on all the returns done by the customer. There's a product quality. So we may go for a quality assurance department. We may go for some controls related to quality. We may adopt some international controls on the quality checks. The environmental impact of the shoe industry and the customer retention. So we may go for environmental strategies. This is definitely the lengthiest one. This is lengthier, but remember one thing, the more information we are given, the better it is for us to, get into the paper, because more information means more amount of knowledge, and more amount of knowledge means better retention and writing strategies. So easiest one, don't conclude that this is the easiest one, but you don't know the ACCA. They may change the entire scenario from being the easiest to being the worst one. So don't just be dependent. See, whenever they are giving such a lot of information, expect the questions to be difficult. There was a pre-scene that was just on 9 pages. And this pre-scene is on 13 pages. 12 pages. So, don't expect that this is going to be an easiest. See, what my strategy of easiest is, if I pass in this attempt, this is the easiest. And if I fail in this attempt, this was the difficult. So, and the customer detection and the customer reaction too. So the customer reaction is going to be, Ahmad, please stop using any sort of drugs that are harmful for your health. Dean's website extract. So now there are Dean's website extract as well. For example, mission, vision, value. Okay, so you remember there was a question that actually gave you all these 3 statements, and we were told to align our strategies with the mission, vision, and values of the company. Expect a question on risk. Expect a question on risk. It says to provide our customers with well-made, reasonably priced shoes and an enjoyable customer's experience. Vision to become the first choice for the shoe of the whole family. Remember one thing, vision is always qualitative, motivational, and future. Mission is always quantitative, present, and talks about product and you get this? Yeah. Value. At D, we are guided by respect for our history, service, product and services. And a focus on quality of product and services and long-term commitment of our staff. There is a staff comment section given as well on our website. So this means that on our intranet website. Now, financial and non-financial information selected summary. So we have been given with industry averages of 20x4. However, we are also being given with the Dean's information from 20x0 to 20x4. Market share, the revenue starts from 9.9% to 9.4%. In between, there are two eras where the market share actually increased. Then there was a decrease in market share, and then again a slight decrease in market share in 20x4. Revenues, you can see, although the market share is decreasing, however, if you look at the revenue, 347 million, 371, again, it's an increment, again, a decrement, and lastly, a slight decrement. So the market share in comparison to 20x0 to 20x4 have slightly increased, but from year to year basis, the market share have decreased, the revenue have decreased, the market share have decreased. GP margin, I'm getting an idea. They have showcased the GP margin of our company. They are going to showcase all these figures of another company and will ask you if you would want to, buy this company or not. They are going to give you same information about another company in the exhibit, or they may give you some information in which you can calculate these information of another company, and they may ask you that we would want to buy this company. Let us know if this strategy is fruitful, viable for the company or not. So customer satisfaction level, out of 10, it was 7.5 industry average, 8.7, 8.4, 8, 7.5, and it has deteriorated below the industry averages. You can see the staff satisfaction score, 7.2. However, the staff satisfaction score have increased, maybe because of the loyalty of the staff, and they are keeping the old staff retained in their company. So for that reason, maybe the staff is more satisfied. However, this may have a compromising impact on the quality of this. Maybe because they are yes, definitely. So this is it from my side for today. I hope so you enjoyed and you were able to predict some sort of information out of this. Don't worry, we are going to go through the pre-scene detail analysis. Don't worry, I'm going to draft at least 2 mock exams on this pre-scene before you guys going into the paper. You just have to be with me till the end, till the time when you are going to for your paper. Trust me, if you are attending all these classes, you will be in a position to clearly identify where you're going to start. I just said that the staff satisfaction score is high just because of the fact that maybe they are retaining all their old staff, although retention of the old staff is a good strategy, but they obviously, as the age of the staff is going to increase, this is going to deteriorate the efficiency of the company. Let's keep it till here today. We are going to meet in our next class.